tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon, like way afternoon, like so afternoon, it's almost evening. Man, I need to shave. You guys gotta remind me to do this stuff. I mean, come on. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Rockies got their ass handed to them, I guess. So I don't follow baseball. I just saw it. So let's talk about time a little bit before we get to that 3-minute mark. Okay. Time is going to be one of two things. I should probably check my. It looks like it's coming through, but I moved some things. Okay. Because I put my. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. Somebody's got to tell me. But I put my microphone right here so I could look cool. That, and I thought it might add a little bit to what we're doing. So anyway, time. You know, when it comes down to it, all you have in this whole world is right now. You don't have anything else. You really don't. And once you can come to terms with that, then you can start to see that a day at a time is a lot more than just about staying sober. A day at a time brings serenity. It brings peace. It brings freedom. Okay? Don't worry about how much time you have. Don't worry about it. Okay? We're going to be talking about that. We're going to cover that a little bit with how long are we actually newcomers? You know, here this might be a lot of opinion flowing around, but you know, it's the way it is. So I'm just going to send one text. One text. Because I think some of my lots of people know. All right. Good evening. Good to see you, Patricia. All right, let's do introductions and get started on this shindig. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your host today. If you're here, please say hello. I'm begging you. No, you don't need to. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. I'll be as good as Darth Vader jamming out to music and roller skating. So I love this shirt. Just roller skating, listen to a boombox. So how long are we a newcomer? You'd think there'd be quick, easy answers about this, but it's going to be different for people, I would think. What is a newcomer? You know, so this is the way that I see it, is you may still feel like a newcomer for a while, but that doesn't mean that you are. Okay. Once you start getting 30, 60, 90 days under your belt, okay, you are no longer a newcomer. If you've done your 90 and 90, that's the way I see it. You are no longer, personally, I think after 24 hours, you're no longer a newcomer. If we're talking about time and a day to time, Well, they had that one day. Well, that second day is now different. It's new. It's something else. All right. 30, 60, 90 days, somewhere in there. Might be a year, might be a year and a half. I don't think it should go much beyond that, because what are we really trying to say when we say, well, I'm still a newcomer? I'm still a newcomer. No, Chris, you are not a newcomer. I am not a newcomer. I've been in this program 7 years. Okay. And it's actually almost a thought process. At one point, you have to stop calling yourself a newcomer. Or guess what? You're going to stay a newcomer and you're going to flail around in your program. It's kind of like the second step. Okay. Where we're making a decision. We are making a decision. But then we have to have some follow through on it. Okay. If you've done the steps, you're no longer a newcomer. I don't care about your time. A newcomer is a qualification, and that is all it is. Okay. That means a newcomer carries what we call the gift of desperation. If God has removed your obsession, you're no longer a newcomer in my thought process. Now, you may feel different about that, and that's okay too. But at some point, you got to make the decision to stop being a newcomer. Because what you were saying is, I'm scared to sponsor people. Because that's what you're actually saying. I'm scared. I still have some kind of fear about helping other people. Because going from what we are to a place, because we're taught, right? We can't control people. We have no power over people. So when we become a sponsor, it can be kind of confusing in the beginning. Don't worry about it. Trust the process. Just trust the process, right? Your sponsor went with you through your book and gave you directions. My book is marked up. These are indicators for me to talk about certain things. Okay? And then when I'm talking with a sponsee, I have them write it in their book also, so that they can carry that message to the next person. That's all it is. You're a messenger. What that person decides to do with your message is none of your business after that. They are their own person. They get to make their own decisions based off the information that you gave them. Yeah, I've had a lot of sponsors. I've had a lot of sponsees. I've had a sponsor show up at my front door drunk before. Okay. So, and I'll let you know a little bit about me. I don't actually have a sponsor right now. What I have is 5 accountability buddies that take care of me, and it works very well for me. Right. I sponsor other people. I have 2 sponsees right now. I have 3 because I don't let people go. I don't let people go. Okay. Yeah, Chris, this is a crazy, crazy program. I was young and picked somebody that I think was a little, I picked somebody that couldn't tell me what to do. Does that make sense? In other words, I picked a sponsor. This guy had less time than me, but he was a lot older. So I thought that would make up for it, and I was incorrect. I actually did a disservice by asking him to be my sponsor. I think I had a year or 2 more than him. Because I always felt like I was required to have a sponsor. Once you get to a certain point, sponsorship isn't necessary. Man, that's going to stir some shit up. Sponsorship is not necessary. Closed mouth friends are. Accountability buddies, fuck yeah. See, I just call them something different. If I had to say it, I have I have 3 sponsors and 2 accountability buddies, really, then, if it comes down to semantics, you know. But the question really is at one point, are you going to be okay with accepting the fact that you are not a newcomer? What do you guys think? Is it time? Yes? No? Kinda, yeah. Okay. This is where time is our friend. This is where time can give us subtle hints. Okay. Now, there's a difference between not being a newcomer and then knowing that you're ready to sponsor. I was not ready to sponsor until I was about 4 years sober. Okay. But that does not mean that I was a newcomer. Okay. So what happens is if you say, well, I'm a newcomer, what you're actually doing is you are pushing yourself down. You are not allowing yourself to see these other things in your life that are going on that are very, very beautiful. There we go. So there's 4 things in there. I like that. Thank you, Mandy. See, this is why we do things as a team. And you guys are going to notice there's a change coming up. Okay. And I know everybody in my little group can feel it. We had a meeting today and, yeah, we've made some decisions. We're going to stay online. That's our job. We're staying there. That's our lane. Dion has been getting out of his lane. That's why it hasn't been working. All right. So, yes, I agree with this. Time, progress, service, and growth. Well, I'm glad I do. Yay. I like helping people. I especially, you know what, people I love helping? People that help themselves. I will help you all day long. Yeah. No, I will not give you the shirt off my back, but I will show you how to go buy a shirt. Yeah, that's the difference between us. Okay. But we do really need to think about this. What are we saying when we're saying I'm just a newcomer? Just, man. Now, first of all, I can hear the self-esteem problem. Can you? Yeah. So maybe that has to do with our self-esteem. That goes back to progress that Mandy was talking about, right? So I kind of feel like once you have some experience under your belt, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, I don't really feel like you're a newcomer at that point. So let's do it by what Mandy is saying. So time, how much time? Between 90 days and 6 months. Definitely, you have to not be a newcomer in less than a year. Okay. Okay. The first year is yours. Be selfish about it. Okay. But that doesn't mean you're a newcomer. You now have experience. That means you need to go to meetings and help the newcomer because there's people there that are naive and you are no longer naive. That means you are no longer a newcomer. That's the way that I see it. What was the other thing? Progress. How far are you in the steps? Do you have a sponsor? Are you doing your 90 meetings in 90 days? Are you doing your living amends? Are you becoming a better person each day? If the answer is yes, sometimes it'll be big. Sometimes there's some days in the beginning where it felt like I went 2 steps back, but I really didn't. It just felt that way for a second. And then I would have to do delayed gratification, right? I think it's more about the steps you came through. Yeah, I think that has something to do with it too. Service. Do we need to talk about service? All right. There is so much service work out there. Absolutely, recovery is not a race. That's why I like giving those times. But at some point, you do need to come to the realization that you can save other people's lives. Doesn't that feel big? Kind of scary. Oh shit, we're dealing with other people's. I don't want any power. I don't want any control. You don't got none. You don't have any. So don't worry about that. Just speak your truth. What is the truth? Your experience is truth. It's fact. It's gold. Your experience, what you have been through, is fact. It happened. That includes your recovery. Your spiritual experience is a part of as much of a fact as anything else in this world. It was deep. It was moving. It turned you into a different person. Actually, it didn't turn you into a different person. Now the real us is coming out. The person I was before this didn't exist. I made him up. I made him up. I had to, or I wouldn't have survived this long in this really, really tough world, man. I wouldn't have survived long if I didn't do that. I had to create a whole nother personality. Sound familiar? Right? A whole different personality. And sometimes that old personality likes to contend with, oh, well, you're not that person. You're not that. And then we have the people out there that are naysaying us. Well, you only got 30 days. Okay. Let's talk about that. Let's talk a little bit about what normies see as time and what we see as time. Because 30 days in AA will change your whole fucking life, and people don't understand it. And I can't explain it to you. I can show you, but I can't explain it to you. Why? Because number one, it's going to be different for you. You have different needs, and God is all about your needs and it being different. So it's going to be a little different for you, which is great, because then your experience is a little unique and you can help other people out with that. Okay? We are not terminally unique, but yeah, we're unique. That's what makes us beautiful. I'm different than the other people on here. I'm one of the people that I love to run my mouth, right? So that's the part that I do. But without other people coming on and making their other comments, I cannot move forward with it. It won't do anything. That's why I'm like, I don't like doing this alone, because it doesn't bring the same nuance. It doesn't bring the same thing. I wouldn't have been when Mandy brought up those 4 different things. See, it sparked something in me. See how that worked? I started a conversation. People wanted to hear it. Now we're talking about it. So once we're all educated on this and we figure out that really this is just a mindset, then we can really work with these people better, because then we can go, oh, we just talked about this the other day. Because I guarantee you, now that we've talked about it, it's going to happen in the next week. Intentions. Your intentions drive all of that. All of it. If your intention is to cause harm, you will. You will. You have it in you. I have it in me. You bet. Okay? But I am no longer a person of confusion. I'm a person of harmony. And sometimes that means Dion needs to keep his mouth shut. Used to be all the time. But now that my will is in line with God's, I can actually use my mouth for good. Even when other people are angry. So I guess the question is, really, how long do you want to be a newcomer? Now we have to be careful with that, on letting them make their own decision on that, right? When your sponsee is a little too comfortable and they're on step 3, yeah, it's time to probably put a foot in their ass and make them a little uncomfortable. That is the difference of a mindset of somebody who has done the work and says, no, I'm no longer a newcomer. God has given me the courage. He has lifted my obsession. He has created an example out of me, a good example instead of a bad example. And now I get to go show that off the right way. I don't hate alcohol. I don't. Mm-mm. It's just another thing in my life. Alcohol is just another thing. It's an object that I have no control over. Okay. So I stay the fuck away from it. Yeah, huh, Chris? He's done tons for us, hasn't he? And all he wants is a little reciprocation. I'm going to tell you, I feel like I got the sweet end of the deal on this. I do. Yeah, I've been through a lot. I've been through a shit ton. You guys have been through a shit ton. We have. But all those things made me who I am today. And today, Dion's a good guy. And I think that's where we start to have the hard time about the newcomer. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's when we start to learn how to love ourselves that changes. What do you think of that? Does love have to do with it? I think it does. Because once we love ourselves, then we can say, oh, okay. Because what we're actually doing here is we're trying to determine our own worth. And we can't do that. We can only God can really determine our worth. There's nobody out there that has the capacity to tell me except God. Okay. So when I start determining my own worth, what happens is my self-esteem goes down. Or my ego gets too big. See how those are extremes? And that's not the right answer. The right answer is here in the middle. You got black, you got white. So you got to see the beauty in the gray, man. You got to get in there and start putting your colors in. Fill that shit in with your colors and everything else that's going on in your life. And one day people are going to turn around and say, how the fuck are you doing that? Because I want a piece of it. And it's not just going to be alcoholics. It's not just going to be addicts. It's going to be everybody. Everybody. You can help anybody. If somebody has an anger problem, you can help. If somebody's in self-pity, you can help. If somebody wants to commit suicide, you can help. You've been there. Oh, I never tried to commit suicide. Bullshit. If you drank, you were committing suicide on the installment plan. So we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to be honest. The more honest you are with yourself, the more you're going to get out of this program, the more you are going to see. Okay? The more we remove, the more we can see. And I like this one too. Maybe when I took the decision to let God be in control, I'm not a newcomer anymore. I'm really liking this. I'm liking the I'm not a newcomer. I'm not a newcomer anymore. Maybe we need to make that a hashtag or something. I don't know how that shit works. Can somebody do it for me? Make sure my name's attached to it. This was my idea. I'm so happy because I'm happy because all my friends here and they know that I'm full of shit when I say that. Yeah, because of your fear, you begin to manage the fear. And once we have more courage, there you go. See? That's a great point, Patricia. So if that is Patricia, I'm just assuming it is. That once God is in control and that obsession has kind of been lifted, maybe not even quite that yet, but just the courage of God flowing in you. Maybe that's when you're not a newcomer anymore. So I think we have a lot of different ways where we can say, I'm not a newcomer. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe we should start encouraging people. Oh, I've got a year. I'm still a newcomer. No, you're not. You're not a newcomer anymore. Stop talking like that. Okay. If you get pushback from that, leave them alone. Leave them alone. I'll tell you why. Because they don't want to. They will not want to. Yes, you can. Can I get an amen? Amen. I mean, see, I did his preaching. Wow, that was fun. That was fun. I love doing that. There's just when I see people that have these capabilities and they're not using them, I get frustrated. That's what it is. I see these abilities in people. There's one person. I see these abilities in her, but she won't get over one particular thing. And nothing will happen until that point. Nothing will happen until that point. Right? Let's talk a little bit about sponsorship and I'm going to wrap up. A sponsor is a guide. Let's cover some things real quick because I've been hearing the men with men, women with women, and I'm sorry, folks. 3/4 of my accountability buddies are women. Right? There are some certain nuances. So here is one thing, okay, that when we do that, we do have to be careful because this is what I've noticed, okay? So, because you know me, I'll help anybody. I don't care your gender either. I don't fucking care. I don't care what you think you are. Does that make sense? I'm going to help you anyway because I don't think that about you. It doesn't cross my mind. I've been picked on and made fun of so much. I just accept you because that's it. I don't need anything else. You're a child of God. So a sponsorship. So if you ever notice, you'll talk to a man in recovery and he will say, well, I get along with women better. Okay. Well, we'll say, I get along with men better. Okay. And that is true. They're not lying. They're not lying. Okay. But that is also because we are hiding, especially men, we are hiding a certain part of ourselves. At some point, you do need to sit down and work out those men issues with other men. Okay. But your sponsor can be anybody. Can be anybody. Okay. That's how I feel about it. One person, it says one alcoholic helping another. It doesn't say anywhere in here that men need to sponsor men and women need to sponsor women. Maybe in the 12 by 12. Maybe, and I may be wrong. Maybe it'll be in there. But it also says in the big book that God will reveal more to you and to us. Okay. Well, God did. It doesn't say that, God, when God answers me, he doesn't do it just through men. It's not how that works. He uses everybody. Why? Because everybody deserves a shot at this. And I might be able to help. I might be able to help that female better than another female. In fact, I've been in that situation. There have been times when I temporarily sponsored until they found a female sponsor that they were comfortable with. They didn't necessarily want a male sponsor. They did want a female. But I'm like, I will temper, so that way you're not up in the air. Because we don't need that. We need to be accountable in the beginning. Do we not? Well, that's not based on gender. Okay. See this? Okay. The moment you see me around my wife, you will know how safe I am. Okay. So the sponsorship's just a guide. So quit being a newcomer. Share your experience, strength, and hope. What a great conversation. Thank you. Thank you. I got a lot out of this. I hope everybody else did too. But what's cool now we have 6, 7, 8 people on the same page. So now we're going to go back out there. Like, you're not a newcomer. You're more than that. And you're going to be encouraging people. Okay? And that's more than a sponsor. That's just a great human being. So, good on you. Good on you. I'm going to tell you, anytime you come and listen to me, good on you, because I'm not easy to listen to. That's right. It's whoever God puts in my path. See, we have a group of people here that don't wait for people to ask them to sponsor them. We go find our sponsees. That's why we get along so well. We're on the same path. Nowhere in here does it say, please sit on your ass and wait for people to ask you to sponsor them. It does not say this. In fact, on page 85, it tells you not to do that. It tells you the exact opposite. When you are sitting around waiting for somebody to ask you to sponsor them, you, my friends, are resting on your laurels. And you will be in danger of going back out. Period. So quit asking the damn question. Is there anybody here willing to sponsor? No. Wrong question. The question, and I don't know when it got changed, it doesn't matter anymore. Question is, who here is looking for a sponsor? That's the correct question. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, everybody, just for everything. Thank you to my team. You guys are fucking amazing, man. Good for you. That's not surprising. Good job, Chris. We'll go with a little bragging around here. Yeah. Bragg got a trophy for mentoring people. You got more than one award, Chris. Yeah, as Chris put, let's throw some respect. Chris has put so much into this program. If it wasn't for people like Chris, we would not be here. If it wasn't for people like Chris and our old timers, we would not be here. Second in the U.S., not just the state, the U.S. Not yet. Thank you, Chris. And thank you for your service. Now you guys know why I treat Chris the way that I do. He's put in his time. He did his part. He did his part. Thank you. And he will not stop doing it until he is dead. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. All right. So be like Chris. All right. That's how we're going to end it. Be like Chris. I love you all. I really do. All right. Peace out and have a day. Bye-bye.